Hi, you guys. This is Good Deeds, and I'm Dr. Renee Sunday. I know you don't have to tell me you're having an awesome, a fabulous, a wonderful day. I know it because you are in your purpose. And people always say, Dr. Sunday, why are you saying that? And today was not good. I was in a car accident. My family member had to have surgery. I just did not like my lunch. When I got back to my office, guess what? They didn't put my fries in my bag. But whatever the situation is, let me let you know, you are in your purpose. We will have trials, guess what? And we will have tribulations. You know what? That's what we call this journey. What we call it? This journey called life. You will have ups and downs. You will have things you don't know what in the world has gone on in your life. I'm a living witness. I have them too. I'm not exempt from it. But you know what? While you're going through it, it's kind of tough sometimes. I'm going to keep it 100, as the kids say. But sometimes when you reflect on that thing, when you in it, and when you come out of it, of course, you say, wait a minute, this thing has made me better. Because the thing about it is, everybody, and I'm going to just say it, everybody don't have the right motive. Everybody is not there to support you. Everybody is not there to be part of your vision. You will not take everybody that's with you now when you go to the next level. I know it's hard to embrace that, right? But guess what? I'm going to just say it. God going to always, and I say always, he's going to always give you the people that you need in your path that actually going to help it work out all the way. Now, sometimes we pick things and we don't understand why it happens. But you know what? Just continue moving forward. Continue to move forward. Now, real quick, we're going to go over the question that people say, Dr. Renee, this is a question. And the question kind of related to what I just talked about. They say, what if you're doing a thing? And I'm going to just say it, a thing. I don't want to give out the person's information. If you're doing a thing, let's say doing hair, doing a mechanic, if you actually, hey, let's say media personality. And even in my case, we're going to say anesthesiologist for 13 years. And you think that's your purpose. But this person wanted to know, what if you're in a situation and you don't see any fruit from it? And when we say fruit, you know, in your case, that may be money, that may be influence, that may be impact. You know, a lot of things is not all about the money, okay? But the thing that I wanted to express to her is you have to be in your secret place. You have to be at a quiet meditation point and really ask yourself, are you in your purpose? Are you doing the things that are easily achievable to you? That's what being in your purpose. A lot of time it's the pain that you've been through that actually ends up being your purpose. Now, you know, I'm only touching the surface on this because got to get to our guest. But the thing that you're doing, you say, why am I in this situation? Why am I taking pictures with a camera? Why am I actually learning how to change a tire? Why am I actually being an administrative assistant? I'm here to tell you, you look back and you see where you are from 10 years, 5 years, or even 7 years in the past. Some of those skill sets you are using now to actually make your purpose come to pass. I know it's hard to say that, but yeah, it is. You have to just keep moving forward in what we call life, and the things will always work out. Now, we just have an amazing celebrity with us today. You know, CNN, you know, that's Atlanta. You know, we love to go down there. I love to go down there and just look at the people that actually are bringing us the news. And, you know, it's a certain place at CNN that you actually it's live. You know, you can actually see them actually doing the news firsthand. But we actually have a photojournalist that's been with CNN, and we want to actually things about him because we can't. Of course, we cannot give him justice of the things that he's done in his purpose and will continue to do. But he actually is a former award-winning, did you get that, photojournalist with CNN. He was based, you know, in Washington, D.C. Reggie Selma is great distinction of traveling the world, covering our United States president, ranging from Reagan to, you know, President Obama. We love it. And the thing that is amazing is almost 40-year career, Reggie has worked with and alongside some of the amazing people and journalists, finest reporters. We know these names: Bernard Shaw, Anderson Cooper. We know them. I know them. I actually do. But guess what? As a son of the Baptist preacher from my hometown of Birmingham, Alabama, Reggie's faith, in addition to his family's, have played an important role in his successful life. Now, I love that. Now, that's wonderful for a man to say his faith has got him where he is today. But we don't want to actually delay. We want to get him right on in here. We want to make sure we take some notes. We got to make sure we listen and glean from someone that's willing to share their life and tips that we can do, that we can apply to our life, that we can move forward in life. But we want to welcome the amazing, just amazing keynote speaker, photojournalist. He's going to make us laugh too, okay? But we want to welcome none other than Reggie Selma to Good Deeds. Are you there?
Oh, I'm here. Thank you so much, Dr. Sunday. Thank you for that gracious introduction, and thank you for inviting me on your show this evening.
Well, I love it. But please, we don't want to delay because I know I just only tipped the iceberg. Tell us more about the amazing things that's going on in your life and things that, like you said, I love how you said it, that actually have brought you to where you are now, the amazing experiences that you can actually share with us.
Oh, yes. No, my story always starts, and I have to admit, I did not know you were from Birmingham, Alabama. That's my hometown. That's your hometown. So we already have that connection.
Yes.
Well, some of the things I'm sure you will recognize. When I was growing up in the segregated South of Birmingham in the 60s and 70s, my story starts there with my parents. My father, as you alluded to earlier, was a Baptist minister, and he was a minister of a Baptist church in Selma, Alabama, just like my name, less than 2 miles from the Edmund Pettus Bridge. So my mother and father were civil rights leaders in their own right. I was only 9 years old when the Bloody Sunday March took place, and my parents did not march that day. But what my father did and what many ministers throughout Alabama did, they opened up their doors to the church to conduct voting rights classes. Because if you've never been given the right to vote, you don't know where to go, you don't know how to register, you don't know how to vote. So under the guise of Bible study, because you have to look at the times, church was not a safe sanctuary for violence against you, as we saw with the 4 little girls in Birmingham. And my mother always said, when we win, and we're going to win fair and square, when we are given the right to vote, we're going to know where to go and how to register. So when President Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act, a lot of people in Alabama were ready. And I always say that my parents were my heroes, and just watching them up close and personal inspired me. I was 12 years old when I knew I wanted to be in journalism. As I said, the segregated South, the times back then were a lot different than they are now. And the Birmingham newspaper, the white-owned newspaper, did not cover our community the way the Birmingham Times, the black-owned community. So if you wanted to know about your community, you pretty much went to the black-owned paper. And one day I'm on the front porch with my father, and I'm reading the sports page. And I noticed that in the Birmingham News, there was no score of the football game of the black high school. And it really angered me. And my father said, well, you should do something about it. And that's my father. He always said, don't just get mad, do something. So I'm 12 years old, and I get the phone book, and I call the Birmingham News phone book, right? And I asked to speak to the sports editor, Bill Shoemaker. And he answered, and I told him, I said, I don't appreciate how your paper does not have the black high school football scores in it and only the white scores. I said, the black schools are just as important as the white schools. And he listened very respectively. And he said, I tell you what I'll do. If you can get me the score of the football game for next Friday's game, I'll put it in the paper. Wow. So I go across the street to the local coach, Coach McGee, the black head coach of the football team, and I told him what happened. And he said, well, you're gonna come with us, and you're going to be our reporter. So I took a notepad and pencil, and I went to the game, and I was writing just like if I was Brian Gumble. And when the game was over, I went to the concession stand office, and I used the phone, and I called in that score. It was 12-6. I still remember the score. And lo and behold, Mr. Shoemaker, to his credit, in that late edition, that Saturday edition, I looked for the score. And I'm getting kind of nervous, but there it was. So that inspired me to become a journalist. I was 12 years old.
I'm just so amazed. I mean, because, just being from Birmingham myself, I have to bring back the Pettus Bridge. Ladies and gentlemen, you may have heard me say this before. My father was baptized in that water.
Oh, my God.
So not the bridge.
Oh, my God.
Now. I mean, it's a nice bridge. It's a nice bridge now, but, you know, back in the day, Reggie, it wasn't how nice it is now.
You can say that again, and I didn't learn this until later years. My older brother Joe, my late brother Joe, told me this. When we would cross the bridge, and as you said, the times were a little scary back then. That bridge was not something that a lot of black people enjoyed crossing, but you had to get to the other side to get to church. And my father always kept his Bible in a leather satchel, a little small case. Well, as my brother Joe told me many years later, not only was that Bible in that case, but my daddy had his pistol in that case as well. So that's what we had to go through. So I went on to Miles College. I'm sure you know Miles College, and I got an internship with the local NBC affiliate in Birmingham, WVTM. And after 5 years of working local news, covering everything you see on local news now, sports, weather, murders, shootings, political speeches, I was inspired by a classmate of mine at Miles College because she knew I wanted to go to a larger TV market. And I was trying to get to Los Angeles because I had two brothers that lived there. And she introduced me to Harry Davis, legendary Harry Davis, African-American cameraman at NBC in Washington. And I called him, and he said, well, there's no openings here at NBC Washington, but have you ever thought of this? There's a new cable news network. It's called CMN. And I said, CMN. He said, that doesn't sound right. I said, you mean CNN? He said, that's it. CNN was so new. It was only about a year and a half old. People didn't know what to call it. So he said, I know a guy there who used to work for CBS. He's a great friend of mine. You send him your tape, and that's how cameramen send their resumes. You can tell somebody you're a great photojournalist, but they want to see it. So I sent him my resume tape, and he enjoyed it and said, well, I think you can come to Washington and work here. I'd never been to Washington, D.C. in my life. This is 1982. And I accepted the job, and about 6 months later, Jim Schultz, who was in charge of the White House unit for President Reagan, promoted me to White House cameraman. And Jim recently passed. He was a very good mentor of mine, and he said, I have seen your work, I've seen your dedication and your professionalism, and I believe you can travel all over the world filming the President of the United States. How do you like that? I was almost speechless, but since I'm from Birmingham, I didn't lose my cool too much. I said, of course I'll accept that. And the rest is history, as they say.
Wow. I've been to the White House, and of course I had to go back again when President Obama was there.
Yeah.
But tell us about. We just can't even start to believe. It's just so amazing. Tell us about. Reagan, and just. I think I would have passed out if President Obama came out. I actually had the opportunity of seeing him speak in Atlanta, and I actually got an opportunity with Hillary Clinton. She was at the the NAACP. She had a speech. But you know what? I gotta say this because it's not meant to be funny, but it actually meant to be serious. What I'm saying. That Secret Service ain't nothing to play with. That's all I got to say.
No, you can't play with them. They don't smile. They do not smile. But they're there to do a job.
The man, they do their job. That man, I went to the restroom, and the gentleman at the door remembered what I had on, and he said, "Oh, you back?" And he was able to tell me my whole name. But this was the fascinating thing. You've seen this firsthand. When Hillary walked off that stage and it was time for her to go, literally, I think they got her out of that room in a minute.
Yep. Yeah, they have this. It's very subliminal. Through years and years of training, you don't even know you've been ushered to another space. They do that at the White House Christmas party when it's time to move you along from one room to the other, say the green room. These two Marine guards, they'll just kind of walk in your space. And it's natural for a person to kind of move when somebody walks in their space. And it's very casual. You don't even know you're being led to another room. It's kind of like sheep. And the next thing you know, the party's over, and you're out in the parking lot, and you're saying, well, wait a minute, how did I get out here? But I tell you, people ask me about the presidents, and it's an honor to cover them all. And while President Reagan was my first president, I may not have agreed with him politically all the time, but he was a very, very gracious person. And it was through President Reagan that I met my dear wife. So he will always have a special place in my heart. My wife and I, we just celebrated our 35th. Yeah, my wife is a flight attendant for United Airlines, Sandy, and this was the trip that President Reagan was going to California for the holidays. And back then, we always had a charter that was the press plane. You had the Air Force One that had the president and a small contingent of press, and I've flown on Air Force One as well. And you also had a press plane that had the other 150 so members of the press that follows the president wherever he goes. And we always had pretty much the same pilots.
Well, that's the life there.
I tell you. But my wife, I met her on the, yeah. But, it's not all glamorous. You work 20-some-hour days. People say, well, there's 24 hours in a day. How do you work 20? And somehow we do. We get up, and somebody has to put up all the lights and lay all the cable. When you see a president speak somewhere, it's just not magically happening. So you have to get to the assignment very early and set it up. But I tell you, one assignment that I didn't mind getting up even earlier than what CNN wanted me to was President Obama's first inauguration. And like I tell people, I don't know, when he put his hand on the Bible and became the first African-American president that I filmed, and I was there, I was a part of history, I always say I don't know which sounded louder, which was louder, my heart beating or the cannons that went off. I was just that moved to be, the son of a preacher man, to be able to be there. And I do what I do. I'm a former cameraman. I worked at CNN for 32 years, and I said a little prayer. I always take my parents with me, something like that, and they would have been very proud to have been there, but they passed before President Obama took office, and I felt as if I carried them with me, and their prayers and all their sacrifice put me in that position. So I had a chance to just silently celebrate, but you can't do it too long because you'll miss the shot, and people will say, well, How come CNN doesn't have that shot that ABC has? So, but I just a little 30-second prayer. I just thank my parents for putting me in that position.
Wow. I totally understand. Yes. Because that's a whole nother level with my parents. I mean, because they lived that. I mean, the stories that you've heard and from your family, it's amazing. But tell us this, though. I'm going to just throw that out there. I don't know if you're working on this or not, but that'll be a great book. 32
I've been told that. Yes. Right now, and I've been told that many times. And I do write something down. Stories come to me almost every day. Right now, I'm concentrating on my public speaking career, and hopefully the two will merge. My career of being a keynote speaker as well as the book. But it helps to write these things down, which I do. I have several binders, and I just write them down for that day when I will write that book.
So when you do your keynote speaking, are there any particular audience you prefer? And with that being said, what type of topics do you usually cover when you actually, because ladies and gentlemen, the keynote speaker is the main speaker, the one that's actually gonna literally bring the word for the event.
Yes. Well, this is right. I have my spirit of my father, Baptist preacher, in me when I'm talking, just like we're talking now, and I'm thoroughly enjoying our chat. It's kind of like sitting around the kitchen table talking to family members. I really appreciate you having me on. My speech, they're stories. They are small vignettes that the great Steve Zebo, one of the greatest keynote speakers, was my mentor, and I was inspired by his style. There's several stories, homespun stories. Some are funny, some are poignant, but they all can be told separately. But I weave them at the end if I'm talking to a corporate entity or a conference or a trade show. Everybody can relate to what we see on the news every day, politics. Everybody can relate to celebrities. One of the stories I like to tell is about one of our time's greatest actors, Denzel Washington. And this took place at President Obama's first inauguration. And somehow the inauguration day is always the coldest day of the year. No matter who is president, it's going to be the coldest day of the year on January 20th every 4 years. So our director had given my sound man, my great friend Dave, and I a few minutes to go into the CNN trailer. And it's just like a media village of trailers and whatnot before the ceremony started, just to warm up, just to thaw out, as we say it. And my friend Dave had lost his lovely wife to cancer just a few weeks before the inauguration. And I was just giving Dave his space. He knew I was there for him. We had already shared tears, so he just wanted to be quiet. So we're just sitting in the trailer waiting on this historic event of President Obama becoming president for the first time, when all of a sudden the door opens and in walks Denzel Washington. It looked like a scene out of one of his movies. It looked like, a scene out of Malcolm X. And he walks past me and he goes over to Dave and taps Dave on the shoulder. And Dave turns around, and Dave had the same look as I did. Is this a dream? So Mr. Washington said, I heard you just recently lost your wife. I want you to tell me about her. I want you to tell me all about your wife. I want you to tell me your first date, your favorite vacation location, your best song. Denzel pulls up a chair, and for the next 30 minutes, Dave tells him all of this, and they're just talking like they're old friends. And at the end, Denzel Washington stood up, and Dave stood up, and the two men embraced for a good 2 or 3 minutes, not saying anything. And, of course, my friend Dave, my great sound man, started to cry, and Denzel Washington said, you just be strong for your wife. You just hang in there. You're going to be okay. And just as easy as he walked in, he walked out the same way. And we're both sitting there like, how did that just happen? And to this day, we never found out who told Denzel Washington about Dave's wife. Now, there was a lot of reporters. It could have been Anderson Cooper or Wolf Blitzer or whoever, but we didn't have time to go back to find them because we're in another part from where they are. So it was just this great mystery, and it was something that gave Dave a lot of comfort that somebody like Denzel Washington would leave the VIP area where he was because he's there to see President Obama, and somehow somebody somehow told him about it. So I tell stories like that, and people, they can relate to it. They're inspired by it. So I don't have a speech per se. Like I like to say, I'm a humorist. I don't tell funny stories. I tell stories that are funny. And in that case, it's a very moving story.
Mhm. Yes, because I was very focused in what you were saying, and you know, ladies and gentlemen, just for just educational piece, you know, there are motivational speakers, if I could say it. Then they also transformational speakers that they transform you while they speaking, and I'm like, you just made me like, wow. So that actually transformed my thinking just by listening to what you just said. So, wow.
God bless you.
You just got me.
God bless you. God bless you.
Let's do this because time goes by so quickly here. Do us a favor, and if we miss talking, I know we could talk all evening, and we actually will get you back on the show and some other platforms that we have. Tell us how we can contact you, how we can support you on social media, and if any last words you have to say, please do that at this time.
Thank you so much. If you want to know more about my story or book me for one of your upcoming events to your audience, you can reach me at reggieselma.com. It's just like my name, REGGIE. SELMA.com. I'm on LinkedIn, and I'm also trying to up my social media game. But the best place to find me and connect right now is on LinkedIn, and I just feel that a lot of people are familiar with reporters and writers and people like that speaking, but I'm one of the few people that are behind the scenes, a person that has recorded history, and I give a different perspective, not only on the world and the people that I've covered, but also on life. Like I said earlier, I always pay homage to my family. Anybody that talks to me for more than 30 seconds, they know I'm from Birmingham, they know I love my family, and they know I'm a man of faith.
Mm. Wow. You know, I was just looking at your name, and I said, from Selma to CNN.
How about that?
Woo. Well, you know, that publishing come out of me all the time. So, okay, I'm going to behave. I'm going to try to behave.
No, are you kidding? We're both church folks. I'm used to folks testifying.
Well, Reggie Selma, we really, first of all, we just thank you so much for being in your purpose. That's always number one. And we thank you
honored.
so much for being
a
guest here on Good Deeds.
God bless you. We'll do it again.
Now, God bless you. Yes, if you need us for anything, please don't hesitate to contact us.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sunday, and thank your great staff. You have a great team there.
Thank you. Woo! I'm just so excited. I got to go back. Woo! I got to talk to him more in detail, ladies and gentlemen, because, you know, he's from my hometown. You know, I represent Birmingham. You know, I'm going to say Roll Tide, right? But, ladies and gentlemen, this is one you need to share with everybody. Get this information about this awesome, amazing young man. Oh, wow, his story. You know, what we do here on Good Deeds, we help you shine your light to the world. What that light is, your dreams, your goals, your purpose, your destiny in life. The things that make you just burn inside that you want to get out to the world. And guess what? People are waiting on you to get that done. You know, If you want to have advertisement, if you want sponsorship, if you want to be a guest on the radio, the TV side, we do have telesummits and live events as well. We have retreats for the ladies and publishing company and our nonprofit organization. If you have any need for those things, please contact us. Now, you know, I always say, if we're not a fit, guess what? I'll find someone that actually is a fit, because the goal is to get you closer to your destiny. You know, it's all about us working together, because it does take the village. But always remember, one, you do have a calling. You do have a reason that you were born. You have a reason that you're here right now. Do the three things. You got to believe, you got to trust, and you got to walk it out. You got to, say it with me, you got to don't stop. You got to get it. This is Good Deeds, and you know I'm Dr. Renee Sunday. You know me by now. My team just told me I didn't say the website. Well, hallelujah. You know our website, www.reneesunday.com. That's RENEESUNDAY.com. We love you, but guess what? God loves you best. This is Good Deeds, and I'm Dr. Renee Sunday. See you next time. Bye-bye.